In the aftermath of a seemingly one-sided battle, Willis confronted Roman, expressing his doubts about the purposefulness of such fights. Was there really a need to engage in this? Willis queried, suggesting an alternative strategy of starting the climb from the top 30 rankers instead. Roman's response was resolute, a testament to his unwavering determination. Despite being hailed as a hero by some, Roman acknowledged the pervasive doubts surrounding his abilities. His resolve was clear. He would prove himself by defeating all rankers using only his own skills. Willis couldn't help but smirk as he listened to Roman's declaration. This was the Roman he had been waiting for, the one who would defy expectations and astonish the world. The media had already cast doubt on Roman's chances of climbing from rank 99 to the coveted top spot. Yet, Roman's swift and decisive victory over the 98th ranker, Delhi, within a mere day, silenced their skepticism. Willis wasted no time in proclaiming Roman as the new 98th ranker, a testament to his undeniable prowess. Roman wasted no time in seeking out his next opponent, his determination unyielding. With a single strike, he dispatched the 97th ranker, leaving spectators in awe of his unparalleled skill. Despite starting from the bottom of the rankings, Roman's opponents were no pushovers. Each one was a formidable 3-star ranker, yet Roman defeated them with effortless efficiency, taking less than 10 seconds to triumph over each. The news spread like wildfire, captivating the attention of all who followed the rankings. In just 2 days, Roman had battled his way to rank 91, defying all expectations and shattering any doubts about his abilities. The sheer speed and precision of his victories were unprecedented, leaving even the most skeptical observers in disbelief. Meanwhile, the scene shifted to Jaden, the 99th ranker, waking up in a daze. Confusion clouded Jaden's mind as they struggled to comprehend their surroundings. A nearby worker approached, offering an explanation for Jaden's disorientation. They had underestimated their opponent, Roman Dimitry, and had been swiftly defeated with a single devastating blow. It had been a full day since Jaden had lost consciousness, yet they were the only one to have awakened after facing Roman. As the reality of their defeat sunk in, Jaden's mind raced with questions. How many opponents had Roman faced? How many had he defeated? The worker's response only deepened Jaden's sense of astonishment. Roman had defeated 5 rankers in just 1 day, including Jaden himself. The magnitude of Roman's feat was staggering, leaving Jaden to ponder the implications of such an extraordinary accomplishment. The worker's inquiry pierced through Jaden's bewildered state, prompting him to grapple with the weight of his recent defeat. As the worker elucidated that the other rankers had never truly been Roman's adversaries from the outset, Jaden's mind raced, trying to comprehend the gravity of the situation. Then, a surge of pain shot through his body, leaving him feeling as though he'd been torn apart at the seams. The worker's prognosis was grim. Jaden would be incapacitated for at least a month, courtesy of the havoc wreaked upon his muscles by Roman's mysterious spell. Stunned disbelief gave way to frustration as Jaden grappled with the aftermath of his encounter with Roman. He realized the urgency of halting Roman's relentless advance and issued a solemn warning to his fellow rankers. Drawing from his own harrowing experience, Jaden recounted the sheer force of Roman's strength, which had rendered him defenseless with a single devastating blow. It wasn't merely a matter of losing a duel. Facing Roman meant risking life-altering injury. Meanwhile, Roman's rampage through the ranks continued unabated. In the span of just 1 week, he systematically dismantled all opposition, vanquishing adversaries from rank 91 to 40 with alarming efficiency. With each resounding victory, the doubts and rumors that had plagued Roman's ascent dissipated like morning mist. Those ranked from 39th to 31st resigned themselves to defeat, acknowledging the futility of resisting Roman's inexorable advance. When Fernando, the 30th ranker, accepted Roman's challenge, skepticism rippled through the ranks. Ranker 32 cautioned Fernando against his rash decision, warning of the formidable opponent he was about to face. Roman, with his unmatched skill and prowess, was deemed by many to be a 5-star threat, far beyond the reach of all but the most elite rankers. Yet, Fernando remained steadfast in his resolve, undeterred by the warnings of his peers. As Fernando faced criticism for his decision, he refused to waver, steadfast in his conviction that facing Roman was a challenge worth undertaking. In his eyes, it was not a matter of recklessness but rather a test of his own courage and determination. He refused to cower in the face of fear, steadfastly maintaining his belief that surrendering to Romans would tarnish their collective image far more than any defeat on the battlefield. Despite the doubts and admonitions of his fellow rankers, Fernando stood firm, a beacon of unwavering resolve amidst the swirling currents of uncertainty. As a ranker, he understood the risks inherent in challenging someone as formidable as Roman Dimitry. Yet, he refused to cower in the face of adversity, choosing instead to confront it head-on. For Fernando, the duel with Roman was not merely a test of skill, but a testament to the indomitable spirit that defined him as a ranker. Fernando cared little for appearances. What he sought was the chance to test his mettle against a foe stronger than himself, a chance to hone his skills where talent fell short. As he squared off against Roman in the arena, murmurs rippled through the audience, speculating on the duration of the match. While Fernando was known for his mastery of basic combat skills, he struggled against opponents rated 4 stars or higher. With determination alone, he had climbed to rank 30, but there he found his limits. In the heat of battle, Fernando believed that Roman might see him as nothing more than a sacrificial pawn. Yet, in return, Fernando hoped that Roman might offer him insights into the world of combat, allowing him to progress even further. As the duel commenced, Fernando launched himself at Roman with full force, his aura blazing around him. However, Roman effortlessly sidestepped Fernando's onslaught, evading each strike with ease. Spotting an opening, Fernando gracefully arced his sword sideways. However, Roman instinctively leaned back, skillfully evading Fernando's strike. Undeterred, Fernando persisted, propelling himself through the air and aiming a decisive blow towards Roman's head. Yet, Roman effortlessly sidestepped the assault, swiftly regaining his stance. But Roman's elusive movements left him frustrated and confused. Was Roman toying with him? Did he think Fernando unworthy of a true challenge? Fernando's pride stung, but he had long ago shed his ego in pursuit of improvement. Then, to Fernando's astonishment, Roman began communicating with him telepathically, guiding him through the intricacies of combat. Roman explained to Fernando that despite being rated as a formidable 4-star warrior, his weakness stemmed from an unstable aura output. He warned Fernando that if he continued to fight in the same manner, he would never progress. Roman elaborated that the conventional method of stabilizing aura output involved absorbing mana and channeling it along a specific pathway. This approach was widely adopted by swordsmen across Cairo Kingdom and the Salamander continent, following a standardized mana path system. However, Roman's assertion left Fernando astonished. He had always believed there was only one mana path and was perplexed by Roman's revelations. Roman took a moment to unravel the complexities of aura manipulation for Fernando. He explained that an outburst of aura occurs when mana surges along its designated pathway, a fundamental principle shared among practitioners. While the specifics of circulation methods may vary from individual to individual, the process of constructing these pathways remains constant, a universally recognized approach. Acknowledging the challenge of forging a new pathway while adhering to an existing one, Roman posed a thought-provoking question to Fernando. Wasn't it worth exploring the possibility of charting a new course? Fernando found himself grappling with Roman's proposition, unsure of what it entailed but willing to embark on the journey nonetheless. Unlike his peers fixated on reputation and honor, Fernando remained indifferent to such concerns, choosing instead to place his trust in Roman, even if doubts lingered about the sincerity of Roman's guidance. Encouraged by Roman's reassurance, Fernando immersed himself in the task at hand. With Roman's guidance, he focused on channeling and containing the energy of his mana, a feat that required both concentration and control. Roman promised that with diligence, a new pathway would reveal itself, a promising avenue for Fernando's growth. As Fernando delved deeper into the depths of his mana, a sense of clarity began to emerge. Guided by Roman's instructions, he navigated the intricate currents of his aura, seeking out the elusive pathway that lay hidden within. With each passing moment, Fernando's connection to his mana strengthened, paving the way for a breakthrough that would alter the course of his journey. In a moment of revelation, Fernando felt the subtle shift in energy, a sign that he had succeeded in carving out a new pathway for his aura. The realization washed over him like a wave, filling him with a sense of accomplishment and newfound purpose. In that fleeting moment, Fernando understood the true extent of Roman's wisdom and the transformative power of his guidance. With a knowing smile, Roman signaled the conclusion of their session. In a display of unparalleled skill, he delivered a single strike that brought Fernando to his knees, a testament to the vast disparity in their abilities. Observers in the audience marveled at the spectacle, recognizing Fernando's pivotal role in showcasing Roman's unparalleled strength. Despite the defeat, Fernando remained undeterred, rising to his feet with a sense of determination. As he called out to Roman, signaling his desire for further discourse. A sense of anticipation filled the air. Inside the confines of the waiting room, Fernando sought answers from Roman, eager to understand the source of his newfound insight. With patience and clarity, Roman elucidated the intricacies of Fernando's aura, shedding light on the root of his struggle. He explained that while Fernando possessed the potential for greatness, the instability of his aura's pathway had hindered his progress. Fernando stood before Roman, his mind racing with a whirlwind of emotions. Roman's revelation had sparked a glimmer of hope within him, a faint beacon in the darkness of his uncertainty. With a rare display of honesty, Fernando confessed to Roman the conflicting feelings swirling within him. While he felt encouraged by Roman's words, he couldn't shake the doubt that lingered, the fear that his own strength might not be enough to carry him forward. It was with this vulnerability that Fernando mustered the courage to ask Roman for guidance, to teach him the elusive art of opening his aura pathway. Roman's response was measured yet decisive. He acknowledged Fernando's request, assuring him that teaching the method wouldn't pose a problem. However, Roman made it clear that he preferred deals that yielded mutual benefits, hinting at a deeper layer of understanding between them. Undeterred by Roman's caveat, Fernando implored him to name his terms, a testament to his unwavering determination to learn from the enigmatic swordsman. It was a plea born not out of desperation, but out of a genuine hunger for growth and improvement. In that moment, Roman issued a request that caught Fernando off guard. He asked Fernando to follow him and live for Roman's sake, a proposition that resonated deeply with Fernando's sense of purpose. To Fernando, Roman represented not just a mentor, but a guiding light illuminating the path ahead. Without hesitation, Fernando knelt before Roman, pledging his loyalty with a solemn vow that echoed through the chambers of their shared destiny. The scene transitions to the gathering of the aristocratic faction, where representatives from all four factions have convened. They express concern over the recent actions of Roman Dimitry, recognizing the potential trouble his actions may bring. Speculation arises that Roman might actually pose a significant threat to Count Nicholas. Marquis Benedict interjects, cautioning against premature conclusions. While acknowledging Roman's past victory over Butler, he emphasizes the vast disparity in power, noting that Count Nicholas holds a formidable rank of 80 within the continent. Count Nicholas, a royal knight revered as the strongest swordsman in Cairo, commanded respect and fear in equal measure. Yet, Roman's recent feats had cast doubt upon the established hierarchy, hinting at a paradigm shift that threatened to upend the status quo. As the discussion unfolded, one nobleman dared to voice the unspoken question looming over their deliberations: what would happen if Roman emerged victorious over Count Nicholas? Marquis Benedict's response was swift and unequivocal. He warned of the ramifications of such an outcome, emphasizing Count Nicholas's indispensable role in upholding the royal faction's power. To Marquis Benedict, Roman's triumph would not only undermine the existing order but herald the rise of a new force that must be stopped at all costs. In the face of this uncertainty, Marquis Benedict laid bare the stark choice that lay before them. If Roman rejected their proposal, the decision had been made within the aristocratic faction, unanimous and resolute. Roman's presence posed an imminent threat that could no longer be ignored. Marquis Benedict's authoritative voice cut through the tense atmosphere as he declared that Roman must be eliminated, regardless of the consequences. With urgency in his tone, he instructed all members of the aristocratic faction to mobilize their families' troops secretly within the capital. It was a calculated move, designed to ensnare Roman within their grasp, regardless of his next move. Meanwhile, in the bustling arena where Roman had just emerged victorious against Heron, the 10th-ranked combatant from the Kronos faction, the crowd erupted into cheers. Roman's gaze swept over the audience, his voice cutting through the air with a mix of frustration and determination. His unexpected outburst caught everyone off guard. Roman continued, expressing his disappointment in the situation. He recounted how he had initiated a public ranking battle a year ago, hoping that the esteemed rankers of Cairo would rise to the challenge. However, after defeating the formidable rank 10, Heron, Roman came to a stark realization. He declared that the only adversary worthy of his skill was Count Nicholas. Roman declared his intention to forego meaningless formalities, announcing his plan to face off against ranks 9 through 2 in the arena in 3 days' time. With unwavering resolve, he vowed to emerge victorious against each opponent, culminating in a direct challenge to Cairo's strongest swordsman. His words sent shockwaves through the city, stirring up a frenzy of anticipation and speculation. Meanwhile, among the assembled rankers, Bruno, ranked 9th from the Valhalla faction, voiced his intention to concede defeat. He reasoned that his skills were too similar to Geron's, and thus Roman would undoubtedly overpower him. However, Oscar, the second-ranked member of the aristocratic faction, vehemently rejected the idea of surrender. Reminding Bruno of Roman's public disparagement of Sir Geron's skills and his bold declaration to defeat all remaining rankers from 9th to 1st on the same day, Oscar argued that capitulation was not an option. Surrendering now would only invite scorn and mockery from the public. That's why he had convened all the rankers of Cairo to stand united against Roman's audacious ambitions. Urging his fellow rankers to set aside their differences and work together, Oscar implored them to exhaust Roman to the fullest extent possible, determined to thwart his plans at any cost. Oscar, fervently loyal to Marquis Benedict, rallied the rankers, promising rewards for their allegiance and vowing to confront Roman with his life on the line to preserve their honor. Inspired, the rankers pledged their support, uniting as the collective strength of Cairo's swordsmen against Roman's challenge. Oscar's smirk revealed his confidence as he prepared to lead them into battle. In the arena, the unified front of rankers from 9 to 2 stirred the audience, who cheered at their defiance of Roman's provocation. The display of solidarity left Roman sobered, recognizing the inherent unity among nobles in times of crisis. With time dwindling, Roman braced for the impending clash, understanding that in Cairo, it was a matter of survival, dominate or be dominated. As the battle commenced, Bruno, the 9th-ranked combatant, stepped forward, expecting a protracted struggle. However, Roman swiftly dispatched him with a single strike, shocking both Bruno and the onlookers. This pattern repeated as each ranker fell in rapid succession, Roman's determination growing with every victory. Oscar and his comrades watched in disbelief as Roman's seemingly invincible skill demolished their hopes. With a stern gaze, Roman singled out Oscar, ominously declaring, "Only one left." The scene transitions to the grandeur of the royal palace, where a soldier rushes in, his demeanor urgent as he delivers news to the king. With a mixture of awe and concern, he announces Roman's staggering victory, recounting how Roman swiftly dispatched rankers 9 through 2 in a single day. This triumph, the soldier adds, leaves the royal faction without any viable justification to bar Roman from challenging rank 1. Daniel is visibly troubled by this revelation. He contemplates the implications of Roman's unchecked ascent and turns to Count Nicholas, the esteemed swordsman of Cairo, seeking counsel in this moment of uncertainty. Daniel wonders if there is any way to avert a potentially catastrophic confrontation with Roman. Daniel confided in Nicholas, expressing his trust in him. However, he voiced his concern that if the foremost swordsman of Cairo were to falter at this juncture, Daniel's own standing would inevitably render him vulnerable to the machinations of the aristocratic faction. Nicholas, exuding confidence, reassures Daniel, urging him to place his faith in him once more. With a determined nod, Nicholas vows to demonstrate why he holds the esteemed title of the strongest swordsman in Cairo. As Nicholas exits the king's chamber, he is met by Benner, a loyal companion. Concern etched on his face, Benner inquires about Nicholas's well-being. In response, Nicholas seeks Benner's insight into the character of Roman. Benner paints a vivid picture of Roman as a natural-born predator, endowed with an innate sense of purpose long before the world acknowledged his prowess. He warns Nicholas to proceed with caution, emphasizing the dire consequences should Nicholas fail to thwart Roman's ambitions. With a steely resolve, Nicholas pledges to protect the royal family from any potential threats, assuring Benner that he will not falter in his duty. The following day dawns, and the arena buzzes with anticipation as Roman makes his way toward the battleground, a figure of awe-inspiring determination. Across from him stands Nicholas, the epitome of stoic resolve, his sword gleaming in the sunlight. With a sense of solemnity, Nicholas draws his weapon, ready to face Roman and defend the honor of Cairo. In a resolute voice, Nicholas proclaims himself as the strongest swordsman in Cairo, poised to impart upon Roman the harsh realities of their world. Roman, undaunted, accepts the challenge, his gaze steely with determination. As the match commences, both combatants charge toward each other, their swords clashing in a symphony of steel. Each strike resonates with a power that leaves the audience spellbound, their collective breath caught in the intensity of the moment. Willis, among the spectators, watches with bated breath as Roman and Nicholas engage in a breathtaking display of skill and prowess. Willis, watching from the sidelines, couldn't contain his excitement. This was the kind of fight he had been longing to witness, a battle between two titans. Nicholas, known as the strongest swordsman of Cairo, couldn't help but acknowledge Roman's unique approach to combat. Roman, in turn, showed respect for Nicholas's formidable reputation. The audience held their breath as the two warriors engaged in a dance of blades, their movements swift and precise. Nicholas launched a fierce strike imbued with his aura, aiming to test Roman's defenses. To the amazement of the spectators, Roman managed to block the attack effortlessly. The sight of two of Cairo's finest swordsmen locked in combat left the audience spellbound, their eyes glued to the spectacle unfolding before them. Seizing an opening, Roman surged forward with his own aura-infused sword, aiming a powerful blow at Nicholas. Although Nicholas successfully parried the attack, he found himself forced backward by Roman's sheer strength. Doubts began to creep into Nicholas's mind as he realized he was struggling to match Roman's power. On the other hand, Roman reveled in the intensity of the battle, his adrenaline pumping as he pushed himself to the limit. Each exchange of blows only fueled his determination further, driving him to test the limits of his abilities. Nicholas understood the precariousness of the situation. If he were to falter, it could spell disaster for the royal family. In that crucial moment, Nicholas lunged forward, aiming a slashing strike with his aura-infused sword at Roman. Yet, with lightning reflexes, Roman evaded the attack, gracefully leaping back onto the arena floor. With this in mind, he steeled himself, focusing his energy to unleash his ultimate technique, demolition. Surrounding himself with a radiant aura, Nicholas launched a precise and devastating attack aimed at Roman. Caught off guard by the sudden onslaught, Roman reacted swiftly. Drawing upon his own mastery of swordsmanship, he unleashed the Heavenly Demon Sword technique, a move he had perfected through years of training. The clash between their energies resulted in a dazzling explosion, engulfing the arena in chaos. As the dust settled, the outcome became clear. Nicholas, once standing proud as Cairo's strongest swordsman, now found himself on his knees, defeated. Despite the shock of his loss, Nicholas refused to yield, his determination unwavering. Rising to his feet, he urged Roman to continue the fight, his resolve unbroken. Roman, taken aback by Nicholas's resilience, couldn't help but question his opponent's motives. Why was Nicholas pushing himself so far? With a smile, Nicholas asserts to Roman that he remains the strongest swordsman in Cairo. Even if he were to fall, his spirit would remain unbroken. Witnessing Nicholas's unwavering resolve, Roman is struck by his remarkable character. Despite the admiration, Roman swiftly moves to strike down the formidable swordsman. In a decisive blow, Roman defeats the Titan who had long dominated Cairo. The audience watches in stunned silence as the era of Nicholas's reign comes to an abrupt end. Willis, acknowledging the momentous occasion, declares Roman Dimitry as the new #1 swordsman in the Cairo kingdom before departing from the arena. Reflecting on the outcome, Willis ponders whether everyone had underestimated Roman Dimitry or if Roman had simply surpassed all expectations. He contemplates Roman's disinterest in joining Valhalla, recognizing him as a formidable force that must not be left unchecked.